I am absolutely thrilled to have you here because we are tackling something that impacts literally every single one of us. So, have you ever looked at a mortgage statement, or maybe a daycare bill, or even just your own paycheck and felt this quiet, nagging sense of panic? Well, listen, you are definitely not alone. We're going to dive right into this today. We are breaking down the increasingly unaffordable American dream, and we're doing it using hard, undeniable data. We're going to map out exactly what's happening with the math, and more importantly, figure out how we can actually navigate it.
Okay, I want to start by putting a massive number out there, $5 million. Just let that sink in for a second. What if I told you that the life our parents had, the comfortable house with the white picket fence, a couple of kids, a car in the driveway, and a really secure retirement, now comes with a price tag that is actually higher than what most people will earn in their entire lifetime? By the time we finish this explainer, you're going to understand exactly where that massive $5 million figure comes from.
But hey, don't panic, we aren't just doom-mongering today. Here's a quick look at our agenda. We'll cover the $5 million dream, compare 1950 to today's reality, guess the costs of these major milestones, redefine modern success, calculate your actual savings rate, and then we'll build a modern action plan.
All right, jumping into Section 1, the $5 million dream, why the math is breaking for the modern professional.
Let's imagine someone named Sarah for a second. She's 32, she's a marketing manager, and she is doing everything exactly right. But she's feeling this constant panic because the cost of the dreams she's chasing jumped nearly 50% in just 2 short years. It went from about 3.4 million to 4.4 million to north of 5 million today. According to Investopedia, here's how that crazy number breaks down. Retirement, that takes up a massive $1.6 million. The median-priced home isn't just the sticker price anymore. When you add 30 years of mortgage interest, property taxes, and insurance, you're looking at $930,000. Raising 2 kids from diapers to college dorms? Over $800,000. Buying and financing 2 cars and replacing them every few years over your adult life? That drains another $850,000. And the rest? Healthcare, a wedding, vacations, even just food and vet bills for the pets, rounds out the final $660,000. It adds up staggeringly fast, doesn't it?
And here is the brutal reality check that proves Sarah's panic is absolutely justified. $2.8 million. That is what the average American with a bachelor's degree earns over their entire working career. So, do you see the problem here? The dream costs over $5 million, but average lifetime earnings are just $2.8 million. And that's before you even buy basic groceries or gas. This just completely proves that this is not a Sarah problem. She isn't lazy, she's not bad with money. This is a systemic math problem happening to millions of Americans all at exactly the same time.
Moving on to Section 2, 1950 versus today's reality, the shifting foundation of the dream.
So, the actual phrase American Dream was coined back in 1931, right in the middle of the Great Depression, by a historian named James Truslow Adams. He defined it like this: a better, richer, fuller life for everyone, regardless of where they were born. Notice what's missing there? He literally didn't say a word about a massive suburban mansion or 2 brand-new financed cars sitting in the driveway. The original dream was all about opportunity and just having a fuller life, not some expensive checklist of depreciating assets.
And this comparison brilliantly shows where the whole disconnect happened. In the 1950s, the math was just incredibly clean. You had one income supporting a whole family, an affordable starter home, and a guaranteed company pension waiting for you at the finish line. But today's reality? It requires 2 incomes, both people grinding for decades, a lifetime home cost approaching $1 million, and a super heavy reliance on a self-funded 401k. We're trying to use the exact same checklist, but we're operating in a completely different economy.
So why does this make us all feel so far behind? Well, it's a psychological trap called anchoring. This is basically where your brain locks onto an old number or an old standard, even when the world has completely changed underneath it. People feel like they're failing because the finish line has literally moved, but they're still comparing their progress to their parents' timeline. You aren't failing. You are just anchored to a 1950s price tag in a very modern world. All right, Section 3. Guess the milestone costs. An interactive reality check. Okay, let's play a really quick game to see if we truly grasp the weight of these modern expenses. I want to ask you, what do you think is the single biggest expense of the American dream? Is it the house, the kids, maybe the cars? Take a guess right now. I'll give you a second. Okay, got it?
The answer is $1.6 million, and it's for retirement. If you guessed retirement, wow, you already understand the system a lot better than most. But why is it the biggest expense?
Well, we're living much longer, pensions have virtually disappeared from the private sector, and Social Security, it was just never designed to fully fund a comfortable 20-plus year lifespan all on its own. You essentially have to fund that $1.6 million yourself just to safely withdraw 4% a year.
Okay, Section 4, redefining your modern success, breaking the rules of the old economy.
Listen, if the old checklist is mathematically broken for most of us, then the absolute only logical step is to change the rules of the game so we can actually reach financial independence. Picture two friends from the exact same graduating class making the exact same starting salary. Now, friend A follows their parents' inherited checklist. They buy a starter house at 24, they finance brand new cars, and by age 40, they are totally house poor, car poor, and barely saving a dime. Now look at friend B. Friend B takes a very modern approach. They rent a smaller place for a lot longer, they buy reliable used cars, and they max out their retirement accounts from day one. Fast forward to age 50, and friend B's modern approach drastically outperforms friend A. It's the same exact income, but a completely different trajectory.
Which brings us to some major myth busting. Myth 1, you absolutely must own a home to live the dream. Reality, depending on your local market, renting and investing the difference can actually outperform owning. Myth 2, you need a brand new car as a sign of adulting. Reality, you are losing around $800,000 over a lifetime to depreciation. Seriously, buying a used car can literally fund your retirement. And myth 3, the dream is entirely dead. Reality, it's really not dead at all. That rigid, old-school checklist just needs a massive update for the modern era. We need flexible math.
Now for Section 5, calculate your savings rate. Take out your phone and find your baseline.
I want to challenge you to open your banking app right now. Let's figure out exactly where your starting point is today. Here are 4 foolproof steps to calculate the one number that actually matters. Step 1, find your total monthly after-tax income, the actual money that hits your checking account. Step 2, add up all the money you moved to investments or savings this month, and yes, that includes your 401k contributions. Step 3, divide your total savings by your total income. And step 4, just multiply that decimal by 100 to get your percentage. That percentage right there, that is your real savings rate, and it is the absolute best indicator of your true financial health.
All right, our final section, Section 6, the Modern Action Plan. Low-cost strategies to beat the $5 million price tag.
Here is how you take back control of your financial trajectory starting today. Think of this as your checklist for financial independence in the modern economy. First, automate your retirement savings before you do any lifestyle spending whatsoever. You've got to pay your future self first. Second, buy reliable used cars and invest the difference. Stop giving your hard-earned wealth away to depreciation. Third, track your net worth and your savings rate every single month. Fourth, look into house hacking or just delay owning a home if the math doesn't make sense right now. Because remember, owning later and being debt-free completely beats owning early and being incredibly house poor. And lastly, decide what your dream actually is. Do not just blindly inherit your parents' checklist.
So, I really want to leave you with this final provocative question. Are you building your dream, or are you still just paying for someone else's? The American dream didn't die. It just got a new price tag. And the truth is, you don't need $5 million sitting in the bank tomorrow. What you need is a flexible plan that is fiercely honest about today's economy. Figure out what actually brings you joy, completely discard the expensive milestones that don't, and start building a life you truly own. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope you feel totally empowered to rewrite your own rules.